Good morning, this is totally random.
Featuring Franz Baruna and Andrew Embler.
Hello, welcome to Totally Random. Today is El Cuatro de Mayo, right? Something like that. The 4th of May. And I'm Franz, this is Andy. This is your weekly news, chit-chat, and talking shop show about Concrete5. If you're new to Concrete5, there's all sorts of cool videos you can watch in the Getting Started section underneath documentation. If you're an old friend, an active community member, or a techie with some questions, this is the right spot for you. Let's jump right into the news.
Let's do it up.
Let's see, first thing is you may have seen a couple weeks ago we did a last Andrew-led intro to Concrete5, developer intro to Concrete5 training session. We've got a bunch of different training courses, and historically Andrew or Ryan has done them, and we're now kind of piece by piece handing them off to Matt, recording them and creating new documentation areas that cover all the exciting topics that we cover in the training. So we're not going to do a complete series of Andy handing off these training sessions to Matt. So it's next week or the week after? It's at some point in the not too distant future, Andy's going to do the last ever Andrew CTO-led basic block development training course. It also is deeply discounted, so I think normally these are like $250 something, and we're selling them for $95, something like that, less than $100. It's about a 2-hour listening and about an hour of talking.
Yeah, with the Q&A sort of sprinkled in between different parts. And
lots of bay.
Yeah, and the developer intro was pretty nicely attended, and it was a good time.
Good times.
I think a lot of people learned some stuff. So basic block development, probably a lot of people out there, if you want to take that next step into developing Concrete5 sites, it'd be a good training.
Yeah. So that's there. There's a page in our blog about it, and if you would like to enjoy doing that, you should sign up and learn. In more news, there's been a peanut brittle explosion at our office. It's been an issue with some people here.
Makes it sound scary.
It is a little scary.
It's overwhelming.
At 9 a.m. people are hitting the Brit, and it's like, that's cool.
Brit.
And it's
because it's America.
Yeah, everyone's jonesing out over it, and by like 2 in the afternoon, they're all coming down off of this cracky sugar high. Here we go.
This is one of the many things that arrived at our office this
week. It looks like a package of naan or something.
Oh,
huge, like pita.
Cashew brittle cookie brittle.
Anyway, thank you. Matt, who sent us this? Someone you were helping, right?
Yeah, it was Big Dipper Foods.
Big Dipper? Delicious.
Yeah, there's like 8 bags of amazing caramel corn with peanut brittle in it. It's ridiculous.
So that's good. Very well received. Everyone appreciates it.
So what we're saying is we will accept food gifts.
Yes.
Concrete5.
You can buy us off with food. We do not need your beer, but we will eat your food.
No, we will eat
thank you.
The goodness out of the food.
In more news, there's a video about the PRB. So I think it was just last week, right? That we introduced the new and exciting PRB interface. And then Andy and I locked ourselves in the office here on Monday and jabbered on for a solid 20 minutes about how the PRB works and what we're looking for in there and what we're not. And I hope that's helpful. I think there's some tidbits in there that are. If you're new to submitting to the PRB, or if you're a new member of the PRB, this video is, worth putting on.
Yeah, while you set your expectations appropriately.
I'll give you some sense as to what's going on in there, all those ups and downs and why we care. So, if that interests you, you should watch it. It's on the Submit to Marketplace page underneath developers, I believe. Last news item is, I believe we've launched the Switch and Learn section. Switch and Learn?
I like this.
Ampersand.
This is the first time I've seen it.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to seeing it. So we asked a few weeks ago that people from the community could perhaps help write some how-tos on how to think about concrete5 if you are familiar with another CMS framework. We're not particularly experts in anything but concrete5. It's been quite some time since we played with other stuff. But you know, hey, how helpful is it if you are, if you know Drupal backwards and forwards? It sure would be nice to have someone tell you what a node maps to in concrete5. So we've had that. We've had two separate people have stepped forward and written rather detailed and thoughtful intro to concrete5 for Drupal developers. And we have they've posted those to their own blogs, which we are very excited about and strongly encourage. It's good to have content across the web. But we've also repurposed that stuff into sets of pages here on our site and made it pretty with our content here and added our little discussion stuff to it and whatnot. And this should be super handy. I'm hoping that this helps with the proverbial learning curve, turning that into more of a learning, I don't know, step, a learning door. Oh, that's nice. A gateway to fast
knowledge
learning.
gateway.
Yeah, something like that.
Payment gateway.
That'd be great too. Anyways, we got two on Drupal. Those are awesome. They're pretty thoughtful. I think that both of them, the authors are kind of expecting to continue kind of adding to it on their end over time. It's very cool. Would love to see a couple on WordPress, gang. I hear someone's working on it, but I haven't seen it. And of course there's Joomla, and if there's other systems you're familiar with, I know I've seen a lot of people moving from ModX or Silver Stripe thing.
Our expression engine.
Whatever, you name it.
We want it in there.
We want it in there, unless you're talking about like migrating from server-side includes.
Then we got that covered.
Hell, I put that in there. I don't care. So yeah, those are great. Big karma points. I think those guys got T-shirts and free commerce licenses, and frankly, I'd really love to have that. So tell me what you need. More of those are better. Thank you to everyone who's already done one. That's the news. Woo! Yeah.
Awesome.
There you go. Let's do some fun in the forums.
Ooh, switch it up.
Introducing Fun in the Forums!
All right. Two Fun with Forums posts today. Let's see. So the first one, force a page type to always be a child page of a chosen parent. So sounds like this fella has or lady has a client that is a little fast dealing. Just likes to add pages wherever they're thinking of adding pages, because they're asking, I want to make an editor of a site, adds a certain page type, which I can find. If you add a new page, I want that to always show up under a specific page somewhere else, even if they add it in the wrong spot. And so, I'm not sure what the exact example is, but basically they want to rope their client in, so they are adding pages to the wrong area. Two answers that I had for it is, first is you can limit which types of pages, which page types, someone can add at any page if you've got advanced permissions turned on.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep. So you turn advanced permissions on, and then you can, if you go to the page permissions drop-down pane.
If you click edit, or you hover over edit and get permissions for that page,
you'll see a little drop-down, and from there you'll be able to pick sub-page permissions. And that will let you control for each user or group that has access to add a page to this page, which types of page can they add.
Yep.
So if that doesn't make any sense, think of it more like, hey, if I'm in the press area, I can only add press releases underneath the press area page type. You can rope that right in. The downer to that is that you do have to get to the right page before you can add it. I can't add a press release from a product page that way. So the other answer that I was able to come up with is use Composer. So if you haven't ever played with Composer, it's right there from your dashboard drop-down if you're in a recent version of concrete5. And it gives you kind of a centralized interface to add, draft, even edit content in more traditional kind of web form base. And another nice benefit of that is you can launch it from any page, and once you've made a page type composerable, you can actually limit where it'll add that page. So the example I gave is if I had a blog post, It's only going to let me add that to the blog area page type.
Yeah, it won't even give you the option to choose. It's just going to publish it.
That's where it'll publish it.
Blog area.
So that's I thought those were pretty good answers.
Yeah.
This fine person seems to have come up with their own answer, which I don't fully understand, but that's fine. We're using an add-on called force single sublevel, so now they can only add pages to the parent that I'm allowing them, and add any pages created under this are forced to a single sublevel, so childs can't be parents, and it works well. Cool. That's something. It feels more like a...
Yeah, you know, what I feel like what they're saying, and this is interesting, is it sounds like they actually have limited by permission to the area of the site so that it's forcing it to be added to a particular section of the site. And then sometimes perhaps the client, we've dealt with this before, where they'll add a page and then they will be on the page that they've just added and they will wish to add another page and they will add it, so it just keeps going downhill.
Yeah.
And I believe the force single sublevel will keep it combats that
That's
problem.
what it looks like to me too.
And
So you can't have a press release to a press release.
Yeah,
So it's
and
always
then the tree that goes down.
Cool.
So it sounds like they've got that going.
That marketplace delivers yet again.
Yes.
So there you go. There's your first fun with forums funness. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this.
Yeah, I mark yours as the best answer.
It seems like a pretty good. I'm just gonna say it was helpful.
Yeah, it's quite helpful.
Right. I helped people. That people found it helpful. Sure. Second one. Profile page coming up as left sidebar.
Yeah.
This one's for you, man. So I've gone through just about everything trying to figure out where it's coming from. I'm coming up very short. The div for the sidebar is labeled sidebar __ column 4, which I can't find anywhere in profile CSS, profile/view.php are exactly as they should be. Add edit to the CSS results and losing editable areas. I was hoping someone here has some problem. I cannot find anything. Div seem to create odd. So he's looking at the profile pages that concrete5 makes. If you haven't dug into this, there's actually a fairly powerful infrastructure for building kind of like a my account profile page, community stuff inside of your concrete5 install. It's all there.
Part of the second paragraph seems a little interesting to me that I don't totally understand, so I'm going to skip over that and offer what I think might be a place to start looking. So the way that the profile section in concrete5 works is it is what we call a single page. And it's unlike the dashboard, which is also a set of single pages. It is a single page on the front end of the site. And whenever you're viewing a single page on your concrete5 site, the content that's found within single pages, in this case single pages /profile/view.php, is loaded and then injected into the current theme in the view.php file. So what I would do is, first thing I would do is go into your current theme and find view.php and start hacking away at that theme and then refresh the profile page and see if that makes any difference in the stuff that you see. And if it does, which it should, then you can be certain that editing view.php in the theme will edit the outer template for the profile. And then beyond that, I would what I would do at that point is I would go into view.php and delete the left sidebar. It sounds like that's what the original poster wants to do. They want the profile to be a full page, although that might lose the left nav. And then I would delete the left sidebar from view.php in the theme, and that should affect the entire profile section.
Right on. There you go.
So check that out.
Fun for me.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, let's look at Karma.
And the weekly Karma winners, come on down.
All right. Karma machine is open. Do we want to do pictures or the machine first? Your call, Matt.
Oh, let's do some pictures.
All right. People sent us pictures and stickers.
They sure did.
Love it.
And as usual, we have a couple from Bert Olden.
Oh, Bert. What do we get to see? Wow.
Got a semi-truck.
Semi. There's a truck last week, too.
There's a C5 sticker up in the right-hand corner of the sleeper there.
Nice. Nice.
Sweet.
Spreading the word on the road. Oh, there it is on the cable trailer. Bringing fiber to the masses or something.
Preparing to re-spool fiber optic cable onto new reels.
Wow.
There you go.
Nice.
Sweet. That's not what I do.
That's not what I do with my day either. It looks fun. I wish I had a big garage like that. I'm yellow.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we got a few from Richard J.H. It seems like he's been finding a few stickers around the UK.
Oh yeah?
Interesting.
Yeah, he sighted a few of these in the wild.
Great. Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah. I love it when people find pictures, or find stickers and take pictures of them.
That is a fortunate.
That's fortunate. Look at that. Yeah. Concrete5 everywhere he goes. Must be an active community there sticking stickers on things. Nice.
That's cool.
I miss England. We gotta go there.
Thanks.
So it's so endearing there. Everything's old.
That's
Our entire history here is like modern art there.
true.
Yeah. Nice. Number 1, Concrete5.
Oh, very nice.
Nice. Very cool. Well, points awarded, I'm sure, Matt, and thank you everybody for sending in those pictures. It's nice to see our brand in the wild. How about the machine? Is the machine running?
Looks like it did.
Sweet. What do we got?
Copy of the randomizer going to Minkris for helping.
Oh, so
Minkris.
helpful. Thank you, Minkris.
Got a reviews add-on going to Hopkins 360 for promotion.
Nice.
And then Julia got a copy of the
Good
dealer
job.
Julia,
locator.
what are you going to do with it? Oh, you're going to have to build a site. Sweet. Thanks for working. Thank you, everybody, for doing the stuff. We've actually changed around the karma points a little bit. So you should see kind of like maturing balance between the different silos. I think we'll probably be doing that a little bit more. If you missed it last week, you should probably go check out your profile. There's all sorts of new badges and...
You probably, yeah, you probably won't miss it.
You probably didn't
50
miss it,
emails you got when you won 50.
but yeah, we're introducing new badges and we're kind of rethinking the karma points because we haven't, I mean, not the basic system, just how many points you get for different things. It's been quite some time since we did. So it's cool to see that stuff is trickling out. And as always, thank you everybody for all of the great contributions you're giving us. We would be nowhere without the volunteer community behind Concrete5. What's next? Didn't get it.
Sure.
What did we get and get?
Every time.
So we've gone through the GitHub pull request list a bit over the last 5-6 days, and we will continue to do that. There's no real rhyme or reason about how we take in items. Sometimes the more complex ones take a little longer to get in there, or they might wait if we plan on introducing them into a branch that is not the master. So there's some more complicated things that are sitting in Git that we are waiting on because we're going to include them into a development branch and just have not had a chance to do that yet. But this week I wanted to highlight a bug fix that we got from EC Chris. This is a fix that in 5.5 we added the ability to specify the CAPTCHA library that the system uses. So you could use reCAPTCHA, etc. You could swap out the kind of rudimentary and not all that attractive built-in CAPTCHA library with any ones that you wanted to put in there. And we did that, and it works well, but there were some bugs in it that if you wanted to specify your own CAPTCHA on a site with an override as opposed to the built-in one or a package, that would not work. And we didn't even know this. This wasn't even added as a bug, but this was actually reported here. And if you scroll up to the top, Matt, you can see that it was first opened, and then if you scroll down a little bit, there's actually some back and forth, and this is what this is how a lot of these pull requests go. There's a nice stab at getting it correct and some good code, but then there's actually some errors in the code itself, and so that's me getting back to the author of the original pull request, and so then he's very responsive. And then he gets back to me letting me know, and then I'm able to actually take a look at the diff and merge the pull request.
Sweet.
So that bug is now fixed. It's listed as fixed in our current master branch, in our in our changelog, and that's what we got in Git.
Nice.
And we got like 7 or 8 other things as well, and they're all added in the changelog as well. So when we finally do a release, we always credit the people that we got that stuff from.
Yeah. So just to chime in, plenty of rhyme or reason. just not always particularly clear.
Yeah.
To you. But yeah, generally things that we really appreciate and get are fixes to bugs like that, additions to things, like last week we talked about adding events to various things. It's like very helpful for lots of people, still very measurable and easy to test for us.
Yeah, extensions to blocks that have been thought out, so the file set in the form, stuff that we've talked about before, those are helpful.
Yep.
Bug fixes, yeah.
Things that don't touch lots and lots of different files.
Yeah, generally the more granular. I mean, that one was nice because it's fairly easy to experiment, or it's fairly easy to see what it does at a glance. And then, but even even with the smallest lines of code, like we have to do a fair amount of legwork because even that one's a perfect example. Like the heart was in the right place, but it wasn't 100% perfect right at the bat. So if you're wondering why some of these things take a little while to approve, it's because we can't look at any of them and just assume that they'll work. We have to look over everyone.
It's very thoughtful. But there you go. Progress being made every day. I believe it is time for the PRB.
And now it's time for the peer review ball.
Featuring new themes and add-ons.
All right. So new PRB is in effect, and things have been easily approved with it, and it's already so much nicer for everybody here, at least. I hope it's nicer for you all. I don't know. But right out the bat, we have Formigo Communicate.
Yeah, this is a mass mailer.
Yeah,
so
pretty thoughtful.
Like the mailing list add-on and some other items in the.
It looks really nice. They've got like screenshots of like deliverability reports with fun Google graphs and stuff. Like, this is definitely nicely built out. As always, we will recommend, if you are not kind of technically focused or have someone on staff that has a fair amount of technical expertise, you should probably not be using this. Sending lots of mail from your website is a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah.
It means that you could easily get marked as a spammer.
Yeah.
On various blacklists, something called SPF filters. Or
you're going to want to understand how domain keys work, SPF records work. Which we're to take care of. You probably want to run this. I would recommend running this on an external SMTP server, maybe that allows this type of thing and recommends.
Definitely want to be careful. There's a reason that Outlook doesn't let you just do bulk mail. But if you know what you're doing and you're looking for a way to do it from within your website, this looks like an awesome way to do it. Yeah. And you should definitely check it out. Thanks.
Yeah.
Right on.
Next add-on is multiple domains.
Sweet.
This is by Manio. It's been in the queue for a little while. We got it out this week. It's pretty exciting. This lets you map multiple domains to a concrete5 site and serve up different parts of your site for different domains that you request.
Yep.
And similar in some respects to the domain mapper add-on that we've got in there, a bit more configurable, a bit more complex to configure.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to, again, this is probably not, just like the domain mapper, it's probably not for running truly unique websites from a single concrete5 install. And I know people often ask for that, hey, I'm going to run hundreds of websites from one install, and I don't know why they think that's a great idea, but that's not a great idea. One
thing that is cool about this add-on that I think came out of the process of the PRB is when you install it, you actually have to click through an additional screen that verifies that you understand domain, you understand DNS, you understand, and you can actually run some DNS tests on whether your domains resolve, which is pretty cool from within the app. So that's pretty cool.
So yeah, I just want to stress that like you're not going to have separate websites within this thing. You're still sharing files, you're sharing users, sitemap.xml is probably one file that's generated for all of the domains. This is a good way to map domains to a single website. And yeah, you can make that website look different for the different parts of the site, but functionally it's still a single website. And if you are looking for like a hosting solution for hundreds of clients, this is not that. What's next? Consensus Theme Premium. Ooh. Sweet. I remember seeing, maybe we were looking at Consensus Theme Free a week or two ago or something. It's vaguely familiar.
Yeah, there was a free version of this released a little while ago, and this has some additional features.
Nice. Scrolling with the nav staying up there.
Bunch of different page types.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah. That's good.
Nifty.
Nifty. Nice palette, nice typography. Impress slider.
This one's from C5 Labs.
Sweet.
It's based on Impress.js.
I think the demo's broken, or it was this morning when I was looking at it.
Okay.
So maybe just that slideshow with Impress thing on the side.
We'll check out
There
the
you go.
screenshots. Yeah.
You know, it's a slider.
Yeah, you know, it's the demo. When I looked at it, it's pretty compelling. It's too bad.
No,
that's
not
too
today.
bad. Yeah, because it has some pretty neat transitions that, in terms of their animation quality, like
Nice.
they look really nice.
Pricelessly nice. Cool.
So get that demo.
Get your demo
fixed,
back up.
But looks good.
Sweet. Table of content. Hoyo. Table of contents.
Yeah, so this is essentially just a custom template for. I seem to recall it's a way to.
You approved this one.
Yeah, I did. It's
You can associate images with links.
with the page.
With the
that you
page.
can link to.
So you get thumbs for pages.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it was a custom template or not, but it is a way to associate thumbnails with pages,
There you go.
which many sites use.
Yep. Very handy to have. Jumping guy. Fun.
Glorious Nord. Glorious.
Glorious
That's
Nord.
pretty sweet.
Sweet. Cool.
Jagged.
Jagged.
It's another theme
Another
from Brian
theme.
Lewis. I feel like it's busting out of the. Oh no, there it is.
Whoa!
I was
Did that
thinking-
logo just bounce at me?
I didn't see the drop down at first. I
Yeah,
thought
where's the B-Loo now?
the
Let's
B-Loo
get it! Look at it bounce! Okay,
Nice.
sure. Yeah,
That's cool.
I like
Nice theme.
the nice shades of gray you got going. Little gradients happening there. It's nice.
Search.
Nice one. Cool.
It's button treatments.
Thank you, Brian.
Ooh, magic.
Totally random. That's us. Magic tabs. Oh, this one. Man, why didn't I think of this? Yeah, this one's nice, man. Not that the rest aren't, but this is something that has plagued us for a long time. If you think about tabs in a page, you know, if you think of like your typical product page from a big company, I have specifications, features, support, whatever. It's like, how do you build these tabs? And it's always been kind of challenging. We've always kind of struggled with like, well, there's no perfect way to do this. Sometimes we would build interfaces where like each we would have pages underneath that holder page, and we'd go grab all the content from the main block area and put it in a tab and kind of hack it that way. There was some solution that used the area splitter that
Yeah, or blocks in areas. Like for each block you add, you could which is
name it and then
challenging
name it
when
into this and that. I was like, oh, and you really want that flexibility of being able to put multiple blocks inside of a tab and not know what they are.
Or blocks of different
like,
types.
Yeah, something that would be like, oh, you get like a WYSIWYG editor for each tab. It's like, well, that's awfully limited. This, the way it looks to me, and I'm just reading the description and playing with it, you add a block in between the blocks for everywhere you want a tab. So you got one block area, that's going to be where all the tabs show up. You put as much content as you want, and the tabs become dividers. And when you're in the page, there's tabs.
Nice.
Super elegant. So if I were to look at that product page in edit mode, I would see specifications tab, features tab, and I could add a survey in that block, and it would work, or so I believe. And that is.
That's a compelling way to do it.
That's got to be the most graceful way I can imagine.
Yeah, because we've also talked about stacks, and that's totally a way to do it as well.
Yeah,
but it's very much not. Yeah, then you have to manage a bunch of stacks. And
this seems like the right way to do it.
Yeah.
So, kudos.
Yeah, good work.
Responsive slider. Thank God we have another slider. What does this do? I think this one's you, Matt.
This one got approved by Greg, so let's haul him in here and get him to talk about it.
I looked at the demo on this. This is an image slider that I believe if you resize the browser actually is supposed to resize with it.
It responds.
It responds to your browser.
Oh. Okay.
So
So it does. It's smaller now.
So that's pretty cool.
That's nice. If you've got a responsive theme, you're going to need a responsive slider. So
yeah, so I think that's the idea.
Sure.
That if you're building one theme that will be used on different devices of different resolution, this is a good way to go about it.
Yeah.
And apart from that, it's just an elegant slider.
There you go. Sweet. Thank you, thank you.
And then we actually have a couple more after this one. But,
Oh yeah, there's a couple that slipped through our auto post.
Yes, coloring book. This has been in the PRB for a while, but it is out amongst the wild. I have not played with this.
My understanding is this lets you create I almost think of it as presets to the theme customizer.
Oh.
Right, so there is, buried in concrete5, there's this thing you're seeing right now. If you go back, that's actually concrete5, just everyone's got that. If you go to customize your theme from page...
Yeah, from the themes section,
list.
there's a customize button.
Same place you would get to default from. There's a customize button. This brings this bad boy up, and whichever styles the theme developer has kind of added a special comment to at the end of, you can configure across the top. And it's pretty lightweight. In fact, there's a thread going on in I think the leader section about how to make it more powerful. But what this does, is, I believe, is give you a color scheme as opposed to individual choices. So you could say, here's earth tones, and you could have all the greens the way you like it.
Nice.
Which is nice because, you know, put this in the hands of a more creative site owner with no design experience, and you're going to have pink on red, God knows what. So this would let you limit that a little bit.
Nice.
So good idea. Thanks for getting it done. Two more that didn't get auto-posted to the blog just because of PRB changes. There is a...
the dashboard maximizer.
Dashboard maximizer for the maximum dashboard.
This is by Arcane Pain. It's a... this is just an add-on that when you install it, adds some styles to the dashboard that changes the main column, the one column template that we use throughout the dashboard into from fixed into variable width.
There you go.
So if you have a wide monitor and your file manager window has a whole bunch of different attributes in it and it's busting out, now you can make your monitor wider.
Simple.
Yeah.
And useful.
That's quite useful.
Not bad. Like the
Kind of like the
comments. Much better.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Just,
Free as well, which is always nice.
yeah. It's adding an extra.
What's
button.
that?
I have no idea what that
Oh,
is.
minimize, maximize.
Oh, wow. That's
nice.
new since I approved it.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Chad Strat's dashboard, right?
Yes. This is a dashboard theme update for those stuck in the past. No. For those who have an alternate view, Concrete5 Classic.
How about just for those?
Classic. For those.
For classic.
Classic Concrete5.
This brings back the sidebar from 5.4 and sticks it in 5.5.
And the top nav.
And the
from
top
side.
nav. So,
yeah, but keeps the content area the same,
right.
which is interesting.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
if you want to give up real estate to have the sidebar there so you can teach your client about the dashboard tree, this would let you do it.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're going to have a hard time training your clients on the difference between 5.4 and 5.5, perhaps this would act as a really great stepping stone for you.
Plus has some color schemes.
Yeah, the color schemes, that's cool. You know, I would caveat that with when you're teaching someone something, they definitely look to you to set the tone. So I think you've seen this from people discussing the massive interface changes in 5.5 in our forums. Sometimes you'll hear people say, my clients are so confused, there's no way they can use it. And then other times you'll hear people saying, I've never had a client be confused after using them. All of my clients love it. I really think it's up to you to train your client, and if you go into that, this is going to be a little confusing, then that's where your client's going to be. If you're going to do this is way better, just check it out, then that's where your client will be. So if this is a tool that helps you feel good about what you're about to show your client, then that's a good thing. It's all about confidence.
Nice.
Right? There you go. That's the PRB.
PRB.
Sweet. Let's do, how would you do that?
How would we?
I don't know.
How we do that?
How would we do that?
Alright, this is the exciting Q&A part of the show. What are the Q's? So we can give you the A's.
All right, I'm gonna try to find some questions here.
Who's got a Q?
Let's see if anyone's posted any.
Stick a Q in there.
I have not been watching the chat, so if
You're busy doing that.
Turn a blind eye.
Sweet.
you posted something earlier, please post it again so
Yes.
I know what's going on.
I did, Matt. That is a statement. question mark at the end. If you have a question, you should repost it. Has Andrew considered it? No. Auto load. What? Auto load in Concrete 5. Could you be more? Could you expand on what an auto load means?
Probably just take a stab in the dark.
Give him a chance to expand. He can mean anything.
Yeah.
We got another question in the meantime.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
AG House H asks, is it possible for an attribute type to determine the type and ID of the object for which it is being attached?
To determine it in terms of yeah, the object, if you want to get the ID from the attribute, oh god, actually probably not very easily, because the type doesn't really have the it knows the attribute value object that it's being attached to, but the attribute value object is kind of a separate thing. So
It's like they're making a crop attribute and trying to get the file ID.
Huh?
That, I don't know if that throws any more additional context into that.
Attribute. What are you trying to actually do? What is the goal of this work? So it's about to
oh god,
calm down on us, man.
dicey.
We're gonna have to get out of here.
Trying to end up with a cropped coordinate for the actual image without modifying the original. So something that crops file manager image.
Saves that info to an attribute.
Why? What are you gonna do with that?
Hooks into the crop zoom and saves the data as an attribute.
Couldn't you just make a new file? Use the setting cropping stuff that exists and just leave the original, or use the versions within a file to...
Maybe we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that the file object will be easy to get in a non-hacky way from within if you're making a custom attribute type, because those types are meant to be kind of generic, and then the attributes themselves can be applied to different objects. So the type itself doesn't really know what object it's going to be used on. I'm going to be wrong. It's been a while since I've dealt into that API, but it's not something we do very frequently.
No, I don't know what the actual...
Yeah, I would
imagine we would try to solve it by actually just making a new asset.
Yeah.
And then relating them to one another in some way. If you had to roll back somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a new version. Maybe it's a specific
And
version.
use
you're supposed to be getting,
use the image file attribute type,
Yeah.
which already exists.
Yeah, something like that. What else you got, Matt?
Alright, got an update on that question from Scott C.
Okay.
He asks, I was wondering if you've considered using auto load instead of loading up all the stuff in the dispatcher. This provides a function that will load a file for a class that doesn't exist.
We do use some auto load already for block caching and things like that, so that when a class hasn't yet been found, it gets loaded. We haven't really explored too much of the auto load that's going to be in there, just because a lot of the times 99% of the things that are listed in that list of stuff are going to be used on most requests when you give a Concrete 5 page. So.
We have talked,
but we might, I don't know.
in the abstract, in passing in the halls, we have talked about thinking of all of the file I/O overrides that we do as another opportunity to improve performance at some version in the future.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of, hey, if this file exists, go use it, versus that is done on every page render.
Oh yeah.
And there are probably ways to, cache is the wrong word, but kind of like
save the state of
overrides are, so you can check without having to do file I/O if there should be an override, and that's one of those things that might be like kind of tedious if you're a developer. I remember when I first started doing Java work, I found it so annoying that like you would have to go making a change and then having to like hit the right page so the change actually got rendered. And it was like, what the hell? Why is this not showing up in real time? So I mean, I can definitely see this would be a step backwards in the sense that like I just put a file in the override directory and it magically worked. Now there'd have to be some button like rescan override structure. But the flip side might be like a lot less file I/O on regular.
Just on everything,
right? If you've got like a site on gocheapy.com. Those hard drives are, if you're lucky, 7,200 RPM, probably 5,000. Like,
well, and also like for nearly every extendable portion of Concrete 5, including blocks, themes, controllers, the overrides have to check the root directory or the override directory first, because that's what makes them overrides. But so that means for the vast majority of sites that override nothing, you have the worst possible case for those because they're always checking everything and finding nothing. So they always get to the fourth part of that if state.
Which is annoying. So we've talked about rethinking that. It's not like a super duper high priority, but that might happen in 5.3. I don't know. It's not on the roadmap list because I don't know, but we said it and it sounded good. I think the other thing that would buy us is more flexibility to introduce more overrides. How do we override packages and that kind of stuff? Where it's like now we're like, oh, I don't know. Like it'd be better not to have to do too much more of that. Well, if we built it in such a way that it was compiled or whatever, then that'd be a lot easier to say.
That would like as part of that, I think we would build in the ability to override core files with packages, which is people have asked for a while, but you can't do today.
So that has come up. I don't know if that relates at all to what you're hoping to get out of AutoNav.
I think that's more interesting.
But yeah, I liked it. There you go. Share and enjoy. What else you got, Matt?
I got one from Vinzenz. He asks, how would you add a single page from a package if it is a single page that already exists in the core?
I think I've been interacting with this person on the forums. Would we want you to?
What's the question?
The question is, how would you change a core page into one that has been, like say a package wants to swap out the file manager with its own file manager, or something along those lines. I don't think that's the exact use case, but something like that. You're correct, you can't use the add function to do that because add fails if it's there. What you would have to do, and we wouldn't officially support this, and we probably wouldn't really even like to see it, you would have to update the existing page to point to a new file name in the packages directory and update that page's package ID to point to the package ID of the newly installed package. And you actually, I forget exactly, you might even be able to do this without updating the path in the path in the single page in the pages table, because assuming the path is the same in the package, if you update the package ID on that to point to a new package, it'll just look for that path within the packages directory instead of in the core. So that, I believe, would work. Whether you should do that is a different session.
Yeah, we would probably not accept a PRB submission that rethought things that way, right?
Probably not.
Depends on what it did, I guess.
Yeah, I mean...
And why would we? Because it makes it very difficult for us to know what's going on subsequently or upgrade anything.
Yeah, it would be tough. But if something you want to explore, I would start with updating the package ID on the pages table for that record that is currently used by the single page that you're looking at.
Or consider just making another interface to do whatever.
Just an additional
Strat file manager. Something it might be. Not what you would do, Chad, but whatever it is you're building, just make it your thing. What else?
Ali had kind of a follow-up question to that one. Is it acceptable to write a controller file to the overrides directory from a package and get it past PRB?
We don't usually, I mean, there have been times when we've approved these in the past, but we might approve that less now. We don't usually like it when add-ons in a package move their files into the overrides directory. So they, what he's asking is, can a controller, when you install a package, actually move the file from the package directory into the site's overrides directory? We've approved some add-ons that do that, but there are actually checks in the new PRB that will fire off alarm bells if we find those functions being used. So I don't know. I'd be.
Why is that?
It's for him. It's the same sort of thing. It's to use a.
Good. But why? What are our concerns about it? Because it's going to make it difficult to upgrade later.
It's going to make it difficult to upgrade. Now all of a sudden, if you uninstall that package, I mean, the package could remove the thing, but if you already have an override in that directory, it either will bork what current overridden functionality was in there, or it will not copy it gracefully, but then that package won't work. So there's no...
And what happens if there's maybe multiple packages that are all rethinking how some dashboard page works? Now I install one, I can't use the other, and it just seems like you get this cascading potential for disaster. So anything we can do to mitigate that's good.
Yeah, I mean, people have there have been add-ons that try to rethink the user picker and stuff like that, and I can appreciate why they might, want to work differently, but it's going to be a tough. Moving controller files around into the overrides directory is going to be a tough sell.
All right, question from John the Fish. He asks, why are some jQuery plugins in the core renamed with underscore? For example, underscore Nevo slider.
So that they load first in our minification routine. Because if they load later, the minify gets screwed up.
Wow, that's a spectacular answer.
Yeah.
That's surgical.
They don't actually get loaded like that. They're in the CCM app folder, and their load order is determined by their alphabetizing in that list. And then if you actually see those outside of the CCM app folder, it's probably just because they're deprecated and we haven't removed them yet because we're lazy.
Yeah.
But I believe what you're referring to is because we need them to be named that way to load properly.
All right, Bogdanez says, last show you mentioned doing something via cron. Is there anything special about modifying concrete5 databases externally, or are there built-in tools?
You should be careful modifying concrete5 databases externally. There are not built-in tools. There's no database. Well, that's not true actually. Someone did build
not built-in, but yeah, I mean there's a database manager add-on that's free. I think Remo added it. It's based off of SQL Buddy.
SQL Buddy. There's PHP MyAdmin, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Nothing really to do with cron.
No.
Cron's the ability to run a script on a routine basis. So, but yeah, you could write a script that whatever spits out your last 6 guestbook comments to a text file, and you could every hour and use that for some third-party system.
You could write a script that also optimized all the tables in your database if you want to repair it, which might be. I mean, a lot of things you do that type of stuff just in general SQL maintenance on a server.
I think his example would be going through all new registered users and altering their attributes, etc.
Sure. You can write a script to do that.
We have a lot of jobs on our own server that do stuff like that. They batch. That's what the point of the job is, to run once a day and do some intensive task and then stop.
So do those jobs have the same? Do those load the Concrete API? Can you use Concrete methods and whatnot? Yeah. So you don't need to do direct database stuff. You can enjoy our exciting functions that abstract the database away from you.
And they also load the database library. So if you do need to write real queries, you can do so without using MySQL. Yeah, exactly. It will already be connected to the database.
Cool. All right, we got Chad Strat, and he asks, have you noticed upgraded versions of concrete5 persisting to load the ccm.app.js in the header instead of the footer? He updated his site, and he can't find a way to force ccm.app.js into the footer.
I would look at the add-ons that are in use and see if any of them load up any legacy scripts. So what I mean by that is add header item, for ccm.filemanager.js or anything like that. Once upon a time we tried to catch those old files which are no longer in 5.5, and if they're in the header, we try and load ccm.app.js in an attempt for backward compatibility. I fear that may actually cause more problems than it solves. I mean, in best case, it makes something that wouldn't work at all still work, but in worst case, it can move the thing into the header and cause other problems that are unforeseen. So I would make sure that all add-ons are up to date, and if they are, look at them to see if any of them use add header item and start stripping stuff out of there. And that'll probably make your life easier.
Sweet. Looks like that's what he's in the middle of doing, looking into his packages.
Yeah, look for legacy files in JavaScript that aren't there anymore.
Look in your package, yo.
Okay. Question for GitHub, and this is from
GitHub.
Scott C. He asks, what tool do we use to convert short tags?
We use Fing.
Boom.
We use their regexp filter that probably could be tweaked or added to strip out the spaces that sometimes come when you translate those. So if anyone wants to take a stab at writing that in an extendable way that doesn't do that, I'd be pleased to accept it into both our build process for concrete5 and the PRB, because we do that in the PRB too.
I see someone mentioning the roadmap up there.
Ooh, roadmap.
Yeah, I see that Francis said roadmap.
I said it. It's right. You heard it. That's right.
Now we will speak no more.
And we'll never look at it again. No, there's a roadmap page that we added a week or two ago, a couple weeks ago. If you go in the developer section, you go look at the version notes for any version. That's a beast of a way to get there. I usually go to developers drop down there and then download concrete, and then yeah, what's new in the latest. If you scroll down a little bit, you go to like a list of what's new in 5.5.2. There you go, click him. Here you get to the list, here's everything, for each version, there's what's in it, and then you look at on the left, there's a roadmap for the upcoming version. Nope, go back up, quick roadmap. There you go! So this is what we're working on for the next version of concrete5 that we're willing to admit. This means this stuff is more likely than not going to be in a upcoming version of concrete5.
Yes.
Can't promise you it'll be there on a specific date quite yet. Certainly will promise you that we'll let you know, and happy to let you see what we're working on as we work on it. But this is what we're worried about at the moment, and as we add new things to that, once we're pretty confident that yeah, we're going to do it, we will stick it in there. Just to give you some sense as to where our heads are at. So yeah, I know that has been asked in the past, so yeah, here it is now in the present. What else you got?
That wraps up the questions that haven't been handled. I think Vinzen's got some other ones going on, but Corbin's dealing with him.
Thanks,
Okay,
Corbin.
thanks, Corbin.
Helping him out.
Cool. Well, I think that's it for today.
Oh, hey, we got one more. You guys want to do one more?
Hey, okay, one more, and then we gotta get to work.
Okay. Chad Strat says, will execute or die prevent a tools file from executing an external request? And if so, what means do you recommend to externally access the C5 API?
No, the only thing it does is it keeps you from accessing the PHP directly. So if you go to tools/blah.php, that will die because C5 execute doesn't exist. But as long as you route it through index.php, which either happens when you have pretty URLs, it happens automatically, or if you prepend tools/whatever with index.php, you should be good to go. You can write whatever you want.
All right, and one more from Scott C. Franz, you look good. What's your secret?
Beer.
Nice.
Don't eat cheese. It's disgusting. Try to convince yourself that. You'll feel better. But yeah, no, cheese is gross. Kinda. But beer's delicious. Have more. All right, guys. We gotta get to work so we can get on to, well, the beer.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time.